Good morning, Legal Funnel members. Hope you guys are doing well. All right, so today we're with one of our other Legal Funnel VIP members, Eric. I want to welcome you here. We've been chatting for the last 10, 15 minutes. Eric, can you tell us what you do?
So my practice is I style it as a personal finance practice, which is it's sort of evenly broken up right now between bankruptcy, credit card defense, student loan litigation, student loan adversaries, discharges, negotiations, and some estate planning also.
Great. So how many things is that? How many niches is that?
Too many. It's realistically it's debt defense, bankruptcy, and estate planning. So it's 3 niches.
Okay. Debt defense, bankruptcy, and estate planning. All right. Have you done an analysis of your year so far?
No, I have not done analysis in my year.
Okay. Do you have a CRM where you keep track of all the clients?
I have a CRM that I'm not hyper diligent about using. I'm a solo practice, and because of that, it's been a little ramshackle. And as I'm just starting to enter the stage where I want to scale it a little bit, I've added a virtual bankruptcy paralegal, and I have a virtual paralegal who handles some of my other matters. It's just I've been really lax about putting those kind of systems in place.
Okay, great. So I think good timing on your part for legal, for you to be part of Legal Funnel. That's, in module 5, we get into hiring VAs, virtual admins, for $5 an hour. I know it sounds ridiculous, but I will force you to hire this VA. The first thing you do is to go create that CRM. Honestly, the best way, easiest way is just in a Google sheet, just put the date when the client signed up, their name, the contact information, what they signed up for, how much, any notes about the service, etc. And from, once you have the records, I want you to analyze it. Exactly what type of clients were there, how much they paid, are there any specific characteristics about them? It will really open up your eyes to give you an idea of what you should focus on. I think it's great to do a lot of different things, and you could have you could look at it like as different cash flows, right? I'm sure it's like this would bring you some clients, and this would bring you some clients, and this would bring you some clients. But I think ultimately, if your goal is growth, which it depends, it doesn't always have to be growth, right? You could always be comfortable, which I'm sure you probably are, right? But so I wanted to ask you, so what is your 3-year goal?
So I've been giving this a lot of thought over the last couple of months. My 3-year goal is I want to scale the practice, but I want to scale the practice in a manner that by adding systems, by expanding the estate planning side of the practice, in a manner that actually reduces my workload, increases the smoothness, reduces the chaos, such that the bankruptcy and estate planning sides are more automated from both a marketing and an intake and a process perspective, and such that the estate planning side of the practice should double the revenue into the practice over that period.
Okay, great. So your goal is to kind of get yourself out of your law firm a little bit, so that you're not, pretty much doing everything, right?
Yeah, my goal is to work less and earn more through the magical application of systems.
Great. In order for that to happen, then you need to kind of streamline one service. If you're all over the place, you're customizing, you're talking to different clients, and you have to do different things for every client, it's going to have a hard time. So you have to, I think the first step is to just focus on one, so that you could have a very streamlined, templatized service that you do over and over. So I'm going to challenge you. I guess the first step is, hire that VA to create that CRM, to go analyze which niche you want to focus on. Yes, you brought up estate planning, you think there's some opportunities there, but I think since you have past experience in bankruptcy, since you have some experience in, debt defense, pick one of those two. And pull down on it before you explore any new niches.
Okay, good, great.
Great. So 3-year goal, we got that down. Focus down on one. And today we wanted to break down your website. So let's take a look.
Okay.
Go ahead and share my screen. All right. So as we shared inside our free training a couple of weeks ago, the second lesson that we shared is website clarity. So, and when it comes to website clarity, we talked about the grunt test, That means if you show your website, you hand a laptop to a caveman and he looks at your website, can he clearly explain what your website is, what you do, and how it can help them? So as soon as I get to this website, the very first thing first of all, I see your nice picture. I like that. I think it builds authority and it kind of gives likability to you and what you do. I definitely keep that. And then the second thing that your eyes pulls to is the headline. So your headline says, "Stop creditors instantly, stop foreclosure, stop wage garnishment." All right, so two things I would say about this. First of all, capital letters, avoid it at all costs. So look at everywhere in your entire website, anytime, anywhere you have capital letters, just get rid of it. Maybe your logo is fine, but everything else, no capital letters at all. There's something about capital letters. As soon as people see it, people get turned off from it. And it's like a little bit too much. It's like red. It's like kind of like red font or like, or too many exclamations. It's the same idea. Sure. So, and then let's talk about the actual words they're using. Stop creditors instantly. So it's good. I think it's good, but I think it could even be better. So what happens as a result of you stopping the creditors coming after you? What's the result of that?
So the result is really the second two bullet points: stop foreclosure, stop wage garnishment. Stop creditors instantly, as I look at it now, is still a little vague. You're right, it's not very specific. Stop foreclosure, stop wage garnishment. Those are sort of the two pain points that people don't, and stop lawsuits, which is the pain point when people call me. It's as we were discussing, it's sort of a passive demographic, and people call when there's there's a fire to put out, and those are the three fires: wage garnishment, bank levies, lawsuits, foreclosures. The four pain points. Great.
If you had to explain foreclosures and wage garnishment without using any legal words, what would be the easiest, simplest way to explain it?
The simplest way to explain them? Let me ask you this, Sam. That's a really, really, really good question. I'm not sure there's a way to be more reductive than that, because people already know, and then when they call, it's because they got a note from their boss, their employer, saying, "Hey, your wages are going to be garnished. You're going to lose your wages." Right? The foreclosure, every homeowner lives in fear of a foreclosure once they start to get behind. So I'm wondering if is that, do we want to be more specific than that?
Yeah, I want to pretty much try to explain that without using those words. Which obviously it's a challenge, but it's something I think it's definitely possible.
Okay.
So how to stop? I'm looking. As you saw, I took that keyword and just bring up some articles to kind of give me some ideas. I look at usually the intro and the conclusion are the best places to find those words. Stop creditors from taking over your home, something like that, using those words.
Okay.
Practical, that even a third grader can understand exactly what foreclosure means.
Okay.
Let's see, from losing your home, don't lose your home. That could be something there. What else we have? Wage garnishment. What does that mean? If you have to explain this to your little nephew.
Creditors taking your paycheck.
Perfect. That's much better than wage garnishment.
Okay.
And then what does their life look like after they get this resolved? Let's say 5 months down the line, after you take care of their entire case for them.
Okay.
What does their life look like? What are they doing now? What can they do now?
That's a really good question. So the net result is we're keeping our home. We're not having to move the family, or we have our whole paycheck. I have my whole paycheck. It's not being taken. The other one is the bank levy, which is the sort of the nasty surprise in bankruptcy. I went to the grocery store on Saturday and I went to go pay for my groceries, and my bank account was empty. So the net result, I don't know, it's an improvement. It's a preventative. We're in the burglar alarm sales space, not so much in the like with estate planning. We're in a preventative sales space. This is one of those things that people come to me after something bad has happened. Typically, there's not a lot of proactivity. So I wonder what I guess the question is, what do I do with that sort of a different mindset? How do we approach that?
Right. It's just the idea is whoever you served 5 months ago, if you call them right now and you ask them, so how's it going? Well, everything's going well. I kept my home. I'm basically chilling. I'm relaxed.
Okay.
So you say whatever the benefit is so that you can keep your home and live a carefree life.
So it's freedom from. So what I'm hearing then is freedom from worry, right? Freedom from fear, freedom from worry, freedom from stress, freedom from that weight that people always describe it as a weight on their shoulders.
Exactly. Yes, those words. So stop all those things so you can ultimately what they're going after ultimately is the end result, what we just talked about. Getting their home back and living carefree life. So talk in those terms and don't talk in the terms of what you offer up front. The foreclosure and all that stuff. So instantly, by having that, as soon as they get it, oh yeah, this is what I want. Great. So take care of the whole line there.
Okay.
And then you have this clear button. However, I think there's too many text in this button. So just say book your free call now.
Okay.
And then the button itself also, if for some reason, usually I would say red is the best color, but because I think there's some red here, there's some red here, it doesn't stand out as much. So maybe try some yellow, green. I think actually green for bankruptcy actually makes the most sense.
Okay.
Make it so that it stands out.
Okay.
And then you have this over here. That looks good, but just make sure it's a little bit more, it blends in a little bit better. It just looks a little bit too small and just doesn't fit correctly. So switch it up maybe. And then I would get rid of this. This is pretty much going to be part of your headline that we just talked about. I like the idea that you have that, but it's supposed to be part of your headline. And then this is absolutely great. You have above the fold a review about somebody talking about you. Next, the website ideally, when you get to it should be about one type of client.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, you could talk about all the 3 services that you have more down on your website, but the very first part is people want to feel like you understand exactly the situation they're in. So the idea is, I know you're struggling with this, that I know you have, credit card that you're behind on. I know you're probably behind on your home mortgage. This sucks. I know it's annoying. You have creditors calling you. That's what the first section is supposed to be about. So, yesterday I showed my website. So the very first section after the main headline is don't get stuck starting your LLC. Don't fall for the do-it-yourself trap. Save precious time. Don't let complicated and confusing forms risk your future. For you, bankruptcy is like a very high pain point. So you need to have that high pain point instigated and to let them know why that really matters.
Mm-hmm.
Once you do that, then you want to make it very clear what the easy steps are for them to engage you. People need to know what steps they should take very clearly. When I get to here, I kind of see this button, but I'm not sure whether that's what us to do. Where it says, when I see this on my website, oh, okay. In order for you to help me, I need to first book a call. Then I will tell you about my business, and then I'll be able to launch my LLC. Got it. So give them 1, 2, 3. Speak to us. We'll evaluate your case, and and then third is you live a debt-free life.
Got it. Okay.
After that, you can have some reviews. I think you understand the power of reviews. It's just that the way that they're displayed is a little bit unclear. Usually you wanna show multiple reviews, either 3 or 6 or 9, all at the same time. Make sure that you're not auto scrolling. Try to remove anything that auto scrolls. It takes away focus away from the call to action, which is what ultimately is the only thing that matters. And try to put as many of reviews as you can. Take screenshots. I think the best way, honestly, is just to take screenshots of your Google reviews or Yelp reviews and just stick them on your website. And just clearly say, hey, these are the people that we helped with their debt.
Okay.
And then you can have a section where it says, hey, these are other things that we could also help you with. We do bankruptcy, we do estate planning, and we do student resolution.
Got it.
add an image for each one, so it's very, even if you don't have to read just by looking at the image, you know exactly what that is. Keep the images very simple. Look at my icons, just one thing. It's not too confusing. Whatever it is. So some people, you just have to know 50% of your visitors like words, 50% like pictures. So you got to satisfy both needs.
Sure.
And then this is way too much text. Just short, one paragraph, one sentence, two sentences, exactly the benefits of that. Just kind of like how we worked on the headline. Eric, did you attend the free training that I had 2 weeks ago?
Yes, I did.
Remember the one-liner?
Oh yeah. Okay.
The problem, pretty much the benefit, the result.
Right.
This would be a perfect place for each one. Well, here's the problem with bankruptcy. Here's the resolution, and here's the result.
Okay.
For each one, just short, 1 or 2 sentences for each one.
So you're suggesting really just it's almost 2 short paragraphs then, bullet.
Yeah, straight.
Q&A.
Yeah, these days people don't like reading. Okay. And even if you are ever going to use paragraphs, just keep your paragraphs to 1 sentence max.
Okay.
Always by default. And then you have this part, but again, it feels like you're repeating yourself. Instead, use this to kind of explain how you have helped your clients in the past and how you can help people in the future. Nothing about you, none in which you haven't done that. That part is good, but I feel like there's a little bit repeats that you don't have to do.
Okay.
And then this will also be great place to put your some icons about your reviews. I think this icon would go perfect down there. Just right. This is like kind of like the authority section.
Sure.
And then you have this button, which is great. And also what I shared inside the free training is your call to action button is the cash register for your law firm. And you want to have as many cash registers as you can. So have that one button that says, book free call. Put that in every section.
Sure.
Every single section. Over here, over here, over here. So it's very clear. It tells them, hey, this is basically what I want you to do. This is what I want you to do. All that, again, everything there, your entire website is supposed to just lead people to the next step. If it doesn't do that, then it takes people away from that.
Okay.
And then we have there we go. You have your 3 steps. So I will just bring this up, just trying to make it much shorter, which you did. I like that. The reviews we talked about, just try to show 3 or 6 or 9 all at the same time. Don't have anything scrolling. Practice areas, you told me you have 3, but it seems like you have 9 here. I would simplify it. Just say these are the 3 that we do. You could have the buttons with a little bit of text and a picture, and that's it. And then you have some pretty much outcomes, results. This is great, except it's hard to read. It's just hard to read because the capital letters, because of the background. Just keep the background thing just very simple. For example, dark blue, white. Dark blue, white, dark blue, white. Just very clear.
So no picture under that background then.
Yeah. Design, it's one thing to try to make it look beautiful, but it's actually anti-productive to have those fancy designs. Just keep it very simple. And this is just, no one's gonna ever read any of this. So I would take some of the content and maybe create small little sections for it. If not, just get rid of it.
Okay.
And then you see that you have some blogs. This is great. I would always put 3 instead of 2.
Okay.
And then you should have a very clear call to action. The idea is, do you want bookings or do you want people to fill this out?
I want bookings. I want people. I actually, this is my process has migrated since the site was put together, but I'm having people self-book, and so I think what I've been leaning toward is taking this, instead of using this form, is probably inserting the code for something like Calendly or Book Like a Boss, so that people can self-book their own appointment right there.
Absolutely, yes. And all your buttons should basically direct to that Calendly.
Okay. That's great.
Yeah, and get rid of this contact session. It's very clear. Again, for me, that all leads to all this, leads to pretty much when you click on it, it goes to now my funnel, which is for me. I mean, hopefully you'll have this will lead, for now you could just have a Calendly, but ideally you want to, send them to a funnel. First capture their contact information before you get them to do a booking, because a booking is more of a commitment than just, providing their email address. At least get on the email address, and no matter what, and you also mentioned to me you have 50 emails they send out. Great. So capture that email address so you can be able to send those emails.
Okay, good.
Perfect. And other than that, honestly, you have a great website overall. Just by cleaning it up, eliminating more than adding. That's what it comes down to. Eliminating matters more than adding.
I think that makes a lot of sense. There's 2 full pages of notes here waiting for me now. That's great, Sam.
Sure, no problem. Do you also do any SEO or anything to get any traffic and clients from your blog articles?
I don't. There's not, but blogging, in spite of I think as much attention as people pay to it, I don't get a lot of traffic in from the articles. I like them. I think because I follow that dogma that Google likes expanding sites that continue to have stuff, but really there's very, very little traffic coming in across those articles.
Okay, well, let me tell you, you do have enough links for you. If you were to focus on blogging and continue doing SEO, you would be successful. You have 4,200 links linking back to you, which means you probably did some SEO back in the day, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Looks like it started in 2015. So you already have some kind of equity built in SEO. Once you finalize what niche you want to focus on, and you want to triple down on it, I think it might be worthwhile for you. I don't recommend it for most people to start off from scratch to do SEO, but for you, I think it makes sense. Pay a company $1,500 to $2,000, and kind of makes sense for SEO companies, and just make content just about bankruptcy over and over.
Sure. Okay.
Let me tell you if there's any certain keywords, and actually, Eric, I'll export this keyword list for you.
Okay, thank you.
Sure. And you'll be able to pretty much double down on these pages. So let's say if I were, again, I'm treating you like myself, I would go look at what I'm currently ranking for on the first page, and I'm going to rank it by the ones that has the most volume and go triple down on that. So it looks like there's a keyword, freedom, debt relief, lies. There's at least 880 people that are searching for a month. Usually it's more than what it says. So at least 1,000 or 2,000 people a month that are searching for this. If you rank, 1 or 2 for this, if you get it, probably like 400 visitors a month, even if like a 5% conversion rate, that could lead to 8 to 20 clients a month just from this one. So that's definitely one page that I would improve on. So let's take a look.
So are we thinking of expand on that page or add more content along that vein?
Exactly, yes. I would expand on this page. I would get rid of, I don't know what this picture is about. I would just go straight to the content.
Okay.
But I would add to it and make it more for the consumer who is reading this. So what I mean by that is, this is just a blog of information. Instead, people are searching for freedom, debt relief, lies. So freedom, debt relief, lies. See what people are the best place to look is what Google tells you. So basically, you want to answer these questions. These become headlines in your article.
Perfect.
And also, once you scroll down over here, these also become other headlines in your articles. And also, if you just go like that, these also are people they're searching for. So take these, turn into headlines, and write some more topic about it. And then by doing that, you tell Google, hey, Google, I'm providing the most up-to-date information, the most thorough, comprehensive content about this.
Yeah.
And Google will start bringing you up higher and higher.
Okay.
Other than that, there might be some things. Yeah, bankruptcy attorney Oxnard. I would triple down on it. Make sure that this page has clear call to actions. The font throws me off. If I were you, I would just change the font to something very popular like Arial, just a clean, popular font. And then also the content, it's a little bit too narrow, too wide. Ideally, you want it to be like very short, kind of like short sentences, just like that, so they'll be easier to read.
Okay.
And then also make sure to add your call to actions of what you want people to do throughout it. So, after the first paragraph, hey, if you're looking for a bankruptcy attorney in Oxnard, I could definitely help you. Give me a call, this phone number, or go here, book a time with me. And put that in the beginning, middle, and at the end. What I usually do is in the very last paragraph. Oh, this is great. And I think that's why you're actually ranking for. You're doing well with this blog article because you have
because of the YouTube video.
Yeah, you have a relevant YouTube video on the page, which is perfect. I would probably, the call to action matters more. So sometimes this could take away from the call to action, but you want people to watch this usually. But yeah, what I was saying is at the end of the blog article, just tell people what to do next. Hey, if you're having these problems, take this next step.
So I'm hearing a lot more CTAs. That's my big takeaway here.
Yes, exactly. I would get rid of this. This is people are not going to look at this, and you need to make it easy so that people want to just click on things and just make call to action.
Sure. Okay.
Just like how you have this is not clickable. That's very important. Yeah, I would triple down on those 2 pages.
Okay.
And there might be other ones, so I'll export and give this to you. Let me just give you all your keywords. But yeah, I would do some SEO if I were you.
Okay.
I usually would tell people not to, but for you, I would do it.
That's right. That's the fun stuff. That's the fun stuff away from practicing.
Yep. Cool. So that's that. So I guess the big picture stuff that we talked about with Eric is Eric does 3 different niches. I think in order, from understanding Eric's goal is so you could work less. But in order for you to work less, you kind of need to streamline your service and your customer service. In order for that to happen, you need to focus on one service so that you'll be able to templatize it, do the same thing over and over.
Mm-hmm.
The way you do that, go analyze your past year. From that, decide what you want to focus on. Legal Funnel will help you, hire a VA for that. Other than that, during Legal Funnel, we're gonna be working on a funnel. Your funnel obviously should just be about that one niche.
Yes. And
just something that I'm gonna be sharing with you. Your funnel, let's just say if you do happen to make it about bankruptcy, your entire funnel is not gonna mention. Ideally, it's not gonna mention anything about bankruptcy. So it's just gonna talk about the pain points and how you can help them over and over. So just have that in mind. No legalese from now on, and no more foreclosures, no more wage garnishment words, none of that. Just automatically by you doing that, you'll stand out from your competitors. And also, you mentioned that you do Facebook ads. Just on a big picture, just wanted to kind of get your feel on how that's going for you. What's your plan with that? And where do you want it to go?
I love Facebook ads right now. So Google, as you know, Google ads are becoming more complicated and more expensive. And we're getting bankruptcy clients from Facebook ads into our funnel for $22 to $26, which is insanely low. And they're highly motivated. They're extremely high intent. I'm feeding them into this 53-step 2-year drip email process. We also feed them an SMS, 12-step SMS follow-up, and the drip stream is really carefully crafted. There's a lot of value. There's a lot of information. It's not a salesy process. It's all benefit oriented. There's an ebook that goes with it and lots of brochures that go with it, and getting the cost of acquisition down in that $20 range has made all the difference in the world. And part of that sequence that everyone can set their own appointment. So we feed them to an answering service and we feed them to my appointment link. So they self-book. And so what I'm doing now is I wake up every morning and check and see who's on the calendar for that day. We keep the booking window short, 3 days to 4 days out is all the most closely that they can book. Yep. And then the booking software that I use just pounds people with reminders. I do 3 email reminders, 3 SMS reminders, and I do an automated outbound phone call, reminding people that they have an appointment coming up. It's like your dentist, but sort of on steroids. We just hammer the crap out of people, in part because this demographic is a very passive demographic, and they forget. And so I want there to be no excuse for why they weren't there when I called. And when I do call, so I have about an 80% show up rate, which is really, really good.
That is really good.
20% who are no shows, I immediately text them. I do a text follow up. I call back in 20 minutes. So ultimately, of the people who book, I get about 90% I actually have a conversation with, and I close really well on the phone. So we do everything. I do everything on the phone. We're not bringing them in for an in-person meeting. I didn't do that before COVID, and I don't do it now. I just have a better excuse for it. And I do the whole process all the way through to the retainer is all done by phone. And at that point, I pass them off to my bankruptcy paralegal, who is, she's my paperwork gem, and she manages that end of it.
I'm so impressed. Eric. Props.
Thank you.
I enrolled in your automation, and I was very impressed. I always believe it's better to be more aggressive than not. A lot of lawyers are afraid how many emails, how many texts. Are people going to complain? Yes. Is it a big deal? It's okay. So
I get virtually 0 complaints, 1 or 2 a year. And this is, you've seen it. It's a relentless email series.
Amazing.
It's nonstop, but it's very high value. It's very to the greatest extent that I can make it. It's non-legal. It's still all about the relief and the result and the whole thing. And so I actually get people who will write me occasionally, and they'll answer every one of those and write back and say, "Gosh, thank you."
I love it.
Positive feedback is 99 times greater than negative feedback on those.
Amazing. Are you collecting Google reviews as well?
Yes, I nurture Google reviews relentlessly.
Nice.
At Google reviews and Yelp reviews, I nurture them every step of. I have a different set of funnels for, a different drip sequence for once people kind of reach once through their discharge or the case is concluded, they move into a kind of a follow-up sequence with. We provide credit score rebuilding. We teach them how to rebuild the credit score. Every stage of that also includes a call for review. My closing letter has a review call. And so I really nurture reviews hard. All of those reviews go into a pop-up at the bottom of the page. So I'm a huge believer in social proof. So that pop-up pops. Every time someone's on my page, the reviews pop up. And then I also take some of those reviews and convert them into YouTube videos and posting the sequence of YouTube videos that just say, "Hey, 5-star review for Ventura bankruptcy attorney Eric Ridley." So all of that, and I think there's a pile-on effect in terms of reviews, where the more they come in, the more the more momentum there is, the more momentum they create. It's self-perpetuating. And so now I receive a lot of feedback from people that they hire me specifically because of those reviews over anything else. That's probably the single biggest piece of feedback I get during phone consultations.
Amazing. I'm so impressed. I'm going to challenge you to get to 100 reviews by...
Oh, please. That's my big goal. I'm a huge review whore. Absolutely, no question, all the way. 100, 200. I've only really started digging into it in the last 12 months. And it's that sort of relentless focus on it. It makes a huge difference.
Definitely. That'll be part of your CRM when you hire the VA. Have a dedicated column in Google Sheet just for whether you collected reviews or not. So you know exactly.
Great idea.
You could just call them up or email them, whatever it is, to do that. Challenge you to get to 100 reviews by, we have how many months left? 2 months left.
Challenge accepted, all the way then.
All the way, by January 31st, so 3.5 months.
Yeah, absolutely.
Great, I love it. Are you doing Google Screened?
Yes, yeah, I'm the only Google Screen provider that I'm aware of right now in our area.
Nice.
So I jumped on that as soon as I saw it. Those lead quality is so, but I don't want to be the person who's not in that list. So that's more of a fear of missing out thing. There's not going to be an opportunity in my market that I'm not jumping into.
I love it. Honestly, I'm so impressed. How much is your cost per lead?
So on Google Leads, I'm not sure yet. The volume's been too low to really tell.
I think
It's
you
pretty
do it.
high. It's $150. It's not cheap.
Okay. So just do the math for yourself. So, just it's a little bit too early to tell to see what the quality is like. One out of, how many leads you'll probably close.
Yeah.
I'm assuming like 1 out of 6, maybe one up to like 1 out of 10. And you could just do the math based on that, whether it makes sense. But yeah, 100, I think there's something, what I noticed is that I was trying to do it for DUI. For DUI, it was the same price as personal injury, which doesn't make sense. And I actually let Search Kings know to let Google know that they have to bring down their price, or else no one's going to sign up for it. But I would triple down on it, because I definitely see the next 6 to 12 months, it's like the La La Land of nobody knows about Google Screen, and whoever's taking it.
Not only does nobody know, I don't even think Google really knows what they're doing with it, particularly as it applies to attorneys. It's sort of the Wild West, and
Exactly.
I'd rather be there and figure it out and write it out than miss it.
Yeah, exactly. Great. So Google Screen, continue that. And the question I'm going to ask you why did you decide to join Legal Funnel?
Oh, that's a good question. Because you're a persistent bastard, Sam. In reality, the partly is for my own accountability. Partly is because although I come with a lot of marketing background, I just somebody else to have a fresh look, fresh eyes, fresh ideas, a fresh set of accountability, to someone to push me to be better. I always want someone to push me to be better and better and better and better. There's no stopping on that, and I need that. In all sincerity, there's a ton of value you've been pushing out, and I sincerely appreciate that. But more than that is your marketing DNA is very aligned with mine, and so because of that, I sincerely respect and appreciate the push and the help, and somebody just to keep kicking me in the backside to make it happen.
Love it. I think we're twins. I love it. I think honestly, you're ahead of the game. You're way ahead of the game.
Thank you.
And I hope to be that accountability for you and push you.
You get to be the handsome twin, though. Okay.
No, you're the experienced and wiser version. Nice.
Those are all battle scars, man.
Yeah. Okay. Very cool. I hope that was fun for you, Eric.
Sam, tons of fun. Thank you. Really appreciate it.
Of course. Thank you, Eric. All right. So Legal Funnel members, if you guys are still watching up to here, just make sure to like and comment and let us know if you got value from this. And we are starting Legal Funnel Mastery Session 5 on November 3rd. Eric, if you didn't hear, I'm pushing it back one more week just to make sure we get more students enrolling. We're at 11 students for Session 5. We're about to actually relaunch Facebook ads today to start getting more students. So you'll start seeing my ads for that. And yeah, we look forward to, if you are an attorney who's looking to invest in yourself, invest in your future, all these principles and things that we teach inside of Legal Funnel is not going anywhere. And, be like an Eric who invests in themselves, who sees the power and the value of, looking farther ahead, looking beyond where we are right now and investing in that. Do yourself a favor and join. Thanks so much for coming in, Eric. And I'll see you.
My pleasure, Sam. Thanks for all the great insights too.
Of course, you got it. Talk to you guys. Bye.